Good morning, everybody. It's time for morning manna, and this morning, we kind of give you a little bit of a summary, and then more about what it means to be chosen. What it means to be chosen, picked over, picked over. That's what we're going to talk about this morning. Picked over. Hope you had a wonderful Resurrection Sunday. If you did, put it in the chat area. What did you do? Did you spend time with family? Did you go to church? Did you get a word? How did that flow for you? How did it flow for you on yesterday? How did it go for you on yesterday? And I'm going to give you the text to talk, the takeaway. 5 minutes or less. You already know that's what we're going to do on this morning. Let me know who you are and where you are so we can shout you out if it's your first, second, or third time joining us on this morning manna. On this morning manna. Picked over. Picked over. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about this morning, picked over. Greet some people and then get right into the word. Get right into the word on this morning. Good morning, Celestine. How are you on this morning? Elder Mobley, how are you on this morning? Minister Sinton, how are you on this morning? Ramona, how are you on this morning? It's a great morning. Good morning, Pamela. How are you? Look, let me know. How was Resurrection Sunday for you? What did you do? Did you go to church? Did you get a word? How was it? How was it? At New Life, oh man, it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. Good morning, Carolyn. How are you? Good morning, Gloria. How are you? Good morning, Pastor Leo. How are you on this morning? Ari, how are you? Vicky, how are you on this morning? Joel, how are you on this morning? Put it in the chat area. I want to know. Did you go to church? Where did you go? Was it a good worship experience? A good word? And what did you do for the balance of the day? The balance of the day on Resurrection Sunday. On Resurrection Sunday. It was a great time at New Life. It was a wonderful time. And it was a time in which we did something totally different. And we began this whole series on chosen, choose to be chosen, and we're pressing into that as we move forward. And I hope it spoke to you. We impacted many lives on yesterday, and people connected, of course, with the gospel and with the church. Good morning, Brother Nesbitt. How are you on this morning? Ashton, how are you? Francine, how are you on this morning? Verena, how are you? James, how are you on this morning? Look, I'm going to give you right into it. The text to talk, to take away, picked over, picked over. Let me give you a little bit of the context, and then we're going to get right into it. You know, there is very few feelings that is worse than being picked over. There are very few feelings that are more depressing, that will take you down lower into a valley, if you will, than when you feel like you were picked over, whether it was picked over that you didn't get picked to by the person you wanted to go to the prom, whether it was a person that didn't pick you as to whether you got promoted. There's nothing, probably fewer feelings that feel worse than that feeling of being picked over. Than being, it's a sense of being rejected. Well, this morning we're talking about how is it that you get picked by Christ. The text to talk, to take away, the text is Matthew 22:14. For many are called, but few are chosen. But for many are called, but few are chosen. Let me give you more context of this particular text. Here it is, a king who's thrown this wonderful banquet, this wonderful celebration, this wedding feast, if you will. And when he threw it, very few, if anybody, came. When he realized that, he sent out and said, now go, make my house full. Go and fill my house. Make sure I'm throwing the invitation not only to those who feel like that they should have been invited, but I'm inviting everybody, the good, the bad, the poor, the rich, the lame, and those who can't see, whatever it is, go bring them in. I am going to pick everybody. Then they go on and say, but few are chosen. There were some that showed up that were inadequate in terms of they had the wrong dress on. They had the wrong dress on, and therefore He dismissed them. How is it then that they got picked over? Let's drill down further. What does it mean for Jesus to pick me? The first thing is Jesus picks people who are prayers. Pray without ceasing. Jesus picks people who are prayers. They are praying, such as yourself. You're here on this morning's devotion. That when you are a prayer, praying without ceasing, it's an indication of the relationship that you have because you're in constant communication. Don't spiritualize it, overly spiritualize prayer. It is very important, but it speaks to more than that. It talks about what is your relationship? Because if you're in a good relationship with somebody, you're in constant communication with them. You're not passive aggressive, you're not aggressive. You are assertive in sharing how you feel. That's what prayer is. And to that end, Jesus picks those who are in relationship with him, which is the indicator of prayer. Second thing is this: Jesus picks those who are passionate. If you hunger and thirst after righteousness, if you are passionate. Now, akin to being passionate is compassion. When Jesus looked out over, that's the third thing. When Jesus looked out over the crowd and they were all in disarray, his heart was broken. And he said they looked like sheep without a shepherd because they were in disarray. The scripture points to that there was compassion in that moment. And then he gave them something. He gave them a word and he gave them something to eat as well. Jesus is looking for those who are prayers and constant communication, passionate, who really want more of him, and compassion, those who are willing to go after those who have a lot less than they do. Let's go back to the text. The text in Matthew 22:14 says, "For many are called, but few are chosen." You remember, it is a wedding feast. How is it then that he determines? In order to get picked, come to the party when Jesus first invites. Come to the party when Jesus first invites. The Lord be with you today. His face shine upon you, give you peace. Share them out. If it bless you, bless somebody else. Don't keep it to yourself. I'll see you tomorrow morning for more Morning Manna. God bless you. Bye now.